You have probably found yourself in situations where you felt the need to argue, to prove a point, or to defend your position. But have you ever stopped to think about the true cost of argumentation? The smartest people never argue, not because they are afraid of conflict, but because they understand the psychology behind human behavior. They know that arguments are often a waste of time and energy, and that they can damage relationships and reputations. So, what do the smartest people do instead of arguing? They use a combination of emotional intelligence, active listening, and self-awareness to navigate complex social situations. They understand that conflicts are inevitable, but they also know that they can be resolved in a constructive and respectful manner. But why do people misunderstand the concept of intelligence and conflict? It is because they often associate intelligence with the ability to argue, to debate, and to win. However, true intelligence is about understanding human psychology and behavior, and using that knowledge to build strong relationships and resolve conflicts. It is about being able to read people, to understand their motivations and desires, and to use that information to navigate complex social situations. Think about it. When was the last time you found yourself in a heated argument, and what was the outcome? Did you feel satisfied with the result, or did you feel drained and exhausted? The truth is, arguments are often a sign of a deeper issue, a sign that we are not communicating effectively, and that we are not understanding each other's perspectives. And this is where the smartest people come in. They understand that conflicts are not about winning or losing, but about finding a mutually beneficial solution. Now, let's explore the 5 pillars of mastery, the strategies used by the smartest people to avoid arguments and resolve conflicts. The first pillar is emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. This is critical in conflict resolution, as it allows you to stay calm and composed, even in the most challenging situations. Emotional intelligence is about being able to recognize and understand the emotions of others, and to use that information to navigate complex social situations. It is about being able to empathize with others, to put yourself in their shoes, and to understand their perspective. The second pillar is active listening, the ability to truly hear and understand the other person's perspective. This is essential in building trust and rapport, and in resolving conflicts in a constructive and respectful manner. Active listening is about being fully present in the conversation, and about being able to focus on the other person's words, tone, and body language. It is about being able to ask questions, to seek clarification, and to ensure that you understand the other person's perspective. The third pillar is self-awareness, the ability to understand your own motivations and desires, as well as your own strengths and weaknesses. This is critical in navigating complex social situations, as it allows you to make informed decisions and to avoid conflicts. Self-awareness is about being able to recognize your own emotions, and to understand how they impact your behavior. It is about being able to identify your own biases and assumptions, and to be able to set them aside in order to see things from a different perspective. The fourth pillar is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This is essential in building strong relationships, as it allows you to connect with others on a deep and meaningful level. Empathy is about being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, and to understand their perspective. It is about being able to recognize and validate someone else's emotions, and to be able to offer support and comfort. The fifth pillar is the power of silence, the ability to use silence as a tool for conflict resolution. This is often the most powerful tool of all, as it allows you to create space for reflection and contemplation, and to avoid escalating conflicts. The power of silence is about being able to remain calm and composed, even in the most challenging situations. It is about being able to use silence to create a sense of anticipation, and to allow the other person to reflect on their words and actions. Now, let's consider a historical example of conflict resolution, the story of Nelson Mandela and his struggle against apartheid in South Africa. Mandela was a master of conflict resolution, using his emotional intelligence, active listening, and self-awareness to navigate the complex social landscape of South Africa. He was able to build trust and rapport with his enemies, and to use his empathy and silence to create space for reflection and contemplation. Mandela's story is a powerful example of the 5 pillars of mastery in action. He was able to use his emotional intelligence to understand the emotions and motivations of his enemies, and to use that information to navigate complex social situations. He was able to use his active listening skills to build trust and rapport with his enemies, and to create a sense of mutual understanding and respect. He was able to use his self-awareness to recognize his own biases and assumptions, and to set them aside in order to see things from a different perspective. He was able to use his empathy to connect with his enemies on a deep and meaningful level, and to create a sense of shared humanity. And he was able to use the power of silence to create space for reflection and contemplation, and to avoid escalating conflicts. Now, let's apply the 5 pillars of mastery to your own life. Take a few minutes each day to practice emotional intelligence, active listening, and self-awareness. Use empathy and silence to navigate complex social situations, and to build strong relationships. Remember, the smartest people never argue, not because they are afraid of conflict, but because they understand the psychology behind human behavior. And this is where everything changes. You have the power to choose how you respond to conflicts, and to use the 5 pillars of mastery to navigate complex social situations. You have the power to build strong relationships, to resolve conflicts in a constructive and respectful manner, and to create a more harmonious and peaceful world. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you use it to argue and debate, or will you use it to build strong relationships and resolve conflicts? The choice is yours. As you reflect on the 5 pillars of mastery, remember that conflict resolution is not about winning or losing, but about finding a mutually beneficial solution. It is about being able to understand and respect the perspectives of others, and to use that information to navigate complex social situations. And finally, remember that the power of silence is a powerful tool for conflict resolution. It allows you to create space for reflection and contemplation, and to avoid escalating conflicts. So, the next time you find yourself in a conflict, remember to stay calm and composed, and to use the 5 pillars of mastery to navigate the situation. Use emotional intelligence to understand the emotions and motivations of the other person, and to use that information to build trust and rapport. Use active listening to truly hear and understand the other person's perspective, and to create a sense of mutual understanding and respect. Use self-awareness to recognize your own biases and assumptions, and to set them aside in order to see things from a different perspective. Use empathy to connect with the other person on a deep and meaningful level, and to create a sense of shared humanity. And use the power of silence to create space for reflection and contemplation, and to avoid escalating conflicts. Subscribe to @Ashley Mindshift for weekly deep dives into the world of dark psychology and mind games. Turn on notifications so you never miss a revelation.